Not really. Okay, Kyle, it's setting up. Maybe about like a couple more seconds. You're awesome. Okay, scissors, babe. Okay, Kyle, it's setting up. It is official. Maybe we like have gotten live. You're awesome. Let me mute that. Okay. I'm going to open our giveaway oil right now. So here we go. Watch it be like something really expensive. I'm like, swap that. No, it's perfect. This is the perfect giveaway oil, Cal. I'm gonna announce it when we get moving, but this is the perfect giveaway oil.
I'm on your YouTube page. Where do I find our?
So just refresh it. If you're getting to YouTube just right now, just refresh it and it'll pull up, but I'll give you the link on Zoom just in case. So let me pull up the chat real quick.
Okay.
We are live on YouTube. Let me find our chat. Hey, chatter on YouTube live is always good. The botters. Okay, this is always hilarious. The botters are always the first ones, which makes me super duper happy because I really like them. And then the best part is they're like, we've arrived, which is awesome. Okay, let me see if I can pull that down. There we go. Guys, it's 8 o'clock and it's really hard to get on YouTube live right now because it's beautiful still outside. And I know the rain is coming tomorrow and we're going to be so miserable. So thanks for joining us on YouTube live tonight, guys. This is way cool. All right, let's give everybody like, I don't know, a hot minute to step on here. It's like just after 8 right now, so let's start in like 2 minutes. So if you're just jumping on, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Go grab your coffee like the Butters, grab a Topo Chico or coffee like me. Maybe you're finishing your like Costco frozen Chinese food. Tell us what we're interrupting for you right now, guys. Give us a heads up on what you were in the middle of. Got the little alert on your YouTube live and then just jumped over here. So what were you guys just in the middle of? Botters, I know you were doing something right now. Be like the Botters. Guys, you have the best hashtags. You totally do. The Botters say they plan this. It's on the schedule. I love that. It's on my schedule too, but without fail, I'm on a scramble. I'm like, who's going where? Who's doing what? I love you to the end of my life. This is like a theme now every night. This is just Bo's hand. Every Monday night, there's coffee coming at me from Bo. Ah, the boys were drawing at the Botters' house. I love that. They are great drawers. Ooh, Rocket Blades is cooking dinner on the big screen. You know what's something funny, guys? Is I went to the Botters to do an oils class for their friends and help them kick off their oils business. And when we were there, it was the very first time ever that I have seen our YouTube channel on someone's big screen. Because you guys might not even know this. We don't have a TV. Like we don't have a TV screen. I'm so amazing that I don't have TV. I have like iPads out the wazoo. It's not like we don't watch TV all the time. We will have a projector and a screen, but it was hilarious to see us on like a big screen because I've never ever seen us on a big screen. That was kind of awkward and good, but super weird to be on somebody's big screen. So thanks for that, Rocket Blades. I hope I don't have food in my teeth because it's going to be way bigger on your screen than it ever has been before. No oil pictures from the Botters. Drew, everyone should get to see an oil picture. I sure hope you made a copy of that and you're going to show it on your YouTube channel. Okay, guys, without further ado, I would love to kick off tonight with a couple of things. The first is I also want to take a few minutes at the beginning to promote next week's because I think it's important to know that there's always an opportunity for you to get educated on oils with us. So next week, we're going to teach an Oils 101 class. And this is something we haven't done in the last 2 months since we began doing essential oils. And it's because, not began doing essential oils for us, but be doing these Monday night essential oil events. And it's something that every single week people have asked for a 101 class. So this would be really helpful for any of you who have never used oils before, or you've dabbled, maybe you picked them up at the grocery store and you just want to know how to use them better. This will be great for you. It'll also be really awesome for you, those of you who have friends who want to know more about oils and they've been asking you and you just don't know what to do, like how to teach them, what to say. Maybe it's not your daily habit to educate people on how to use the most common oils for everyday things that come up. Maybe you don't know quite how to practice listening first and you just want to share all your stories. Don't worry. Bring them here next week. And then my friend Carrie and I will promise to give you an entertaining Essential Oils 101. Because if you caught our I'd rather DIE than DIY, then you know how fun that will be. But tonight, oh, there's also one more thing. So we never do Saturday things because usually we're resting as a family on Saturday. But this Saturday, we're doing an event called How Do You Make Dough with doTERRA? So DOUGH, get it? Like D-O with the O over the line over the O. Yeah. Kelly Couch very much approves of this event because she's the one who taught me how to make dough with doTERRA. But this Saturday at 9:30 in the morning on a private Zoom. So this is going to be a registration only. In fact, I'm going to pull that up and I'll mention it toward the end of this event. It'll be a link that you can register on. And we're not we'd like this to maintain our essential oils classes here as essential oil based. But if you want to know how to make money with doTERRA, it doesn't have to be through a YouTube channel. It doesn't have to be on social media. It can be with your community, and we'll teach you how to do that on this private Zoom. So instead of blasting everybody with more doTERRA stuff, we'll start doing lives on the weekends just about our homestead. But this weekend is going to be a private Zoom event where it's kind of like what Kelly and I are doing here, where we see each other face to face, but it'll feel like the Brady Bunch with a whole bunch of people learning about the same thing as you. You don't have to commit to a lifelong essential oil endeavor. You can just come if you're curious and you want to know, okay, I see the Brothertons doing this. They've got a whole slew of people who are moderating this that are also doing this. It doesn't seem like a pyramid scheme, but I have no clue what this is. So if you want to know how you make dough with doTERRA, then on this Saturday at 9:30 in the morning Central Time, you're going to hop onto the link that I'll include a little later on into this so that you can know about what's going on and if this is a good fit for you. So I mentioned that Kelly Couch very much approves of this Saturday event because she's the one who taught me about essential oils. So tonight, as we present to you mamas and babies with essential oils, I have to introduce my friend Kelly this way because there's no other way to do it. But when I met Kelly, we were long time where she was married. This knit us together for years, and it will be to and time and night get food poisoning, which later turned into like a long-term sickness passed around over and over. And Kelly so compassionately and kindly not only gave me food poisoning. No, I'm kidding. It was not food poisoning, guys. It was
so
just
it was so worth it. It was
so worth it
for dinner. It was pancakes and bacon for dinner,
but,
and your friends in their pajamas.
And you know what? It was before we went paleo, and Kelly was like, "We only use pure maple syrup, and we make these paleo pancakes." And I was like, "Meh." And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, tell me all the paleo things I need to know." But this was the sweetest thing: was Kelly heard that we weren't well. Kelly heard that we weren't feeling well and that she had a solution, and she dropped off some On Guard. And for us, within a week of using On Guard every morning and every evening, we started to feel better. And then we had a tool through essential oils to help us feel well long term and not just feel like, oh, we had something to react to. We had a way to maintain health in our family with these two very small kids. Said, Brothertons, how are you feeling? Can I send you some essential oils home and help you feel better? Then I never would have stepped into a class. I never would have stepped into this business. I never would have made some of my best friends on the planet. And it's because one mama knew something that would help another one. And she was so bold and courageous. On top of that, Kelly is a physician assistant. She's practiced emergency medicine for over a decade. And she's really just stepping into this cool new season of health coaching and helping people with what do we call it, Kelly? Like the toxin support that you give people. What would we call that?
Yeah, that's great. Just reducing toxic load and just, yeah.
So she's phenomenal. She's a dear friend of our family. You've seen her husband all over our YouTube videos helping us build our home that we now live in. Our deck is 100% Andrew, which is amazing. And
Bo helped. Bo helped. It was not 100%. Bo helped.
Me.
Yeah. I was there. He helped.
He totally helped. But without Andrew, I firmly believe we wouldn't be living here. And that's the generosity of the couches and the character of who they are. So if you are knowing and loving us on our doTERRA team, you must know and love Kelly and Andrew Couch because they are also part of your doTERRA team. And it's a privilege and an honor that even throughout all of life that is happening with Kelly, she would carve out time just to spend with you, to pour into you. So right now I want to give some advice. Let's look right now real quick. We have 12 people on right now, guys. If we get to 50, meaning like if each of you texted one person who showed up right now, we would be almost over. We would just be right around 25. And if each of them texts one person and comes, we would be at 50 people tonight. Tonight, I'm giving away a bottle of Balance because it's my favorite mother and baby oil. Kelly's going to talk about it later. And if we hit 50 people on the chat live tonight, then I'm going to give away 2 oils. So this is a really good time to take a hot second. Think of moms or women who are pregnant in your life, or cousins who have pregnant friends, whoever it is, send them this link. Tell them we're doing a free online oils class. They may be really interested, and ask, would this encourage them or someone that they know? And then send them the link to youtube.com/bettertogetherlife. And Kelly and I are just going to pour into you guys, not only with our personal experience, but with our research over, now it's been almost, 8 years, 7 years, where we've been just delving into essential oils. We'll even tell you about why we prefer doTERRA as our essential oil company, and what makes a big difference. Now, this class will totally stink if you don't start commenting with your questions. They can be for you or for someone you know. If you are lurking and you're not much of a commenter, no sweat, but I promise you, you will get the most out of our time if you are giving us feedback or asking questions for yourself or someone else. So without wasting another second, I'm going to turn this over to Kelly because you're not going to want to miss the amazing slides that she has and the information that's going to help edify your life. So thank you, Kelly, for being here and helping us find these solutions.
You're welcome. I think she's been very kind, you guys, and she's given me way more credit than necessarily due. However,
this,
yes. Oh, no, 1 second.
Yeah, you got a little stuck there, Kelly, and it was on the best shot. Look, this is what you look like.
I love it. I love it.
It was on the best. It was like totally stuck there. So we missed what you said. We heard however, and then not the rest.
I know, it keeps freezing. I was going to say that we really have met some of, am I still freezing? No, we've really met some of our best friends. But I want to tell you one of the coolest mama and baby stories is that my precious little Zoe was born 36 hours before this precious woman's little Ella. And so not only are we doTERRA sisters, but we have little doTERRA babies, and we've been pregnant and nursing together, and we've gone through babies with essential oils, and it's just been this huge blessing. And it's one of the reasons when we were talking about what should we share with you guys tonight, decreasing toxic load is like a huge passion for me. So I shared that, a month or so ago with you guys. But another huge passion is mamas and babies and being able to, you're not going to enjoy every second of pregnancy. Let's just be honest. There's some difficulties and some pain at some point that's going to happen in pregnancy, but essential oils made it so much of just almost even like a fun experience, an easier experience, a huge blessing. And so I want to share some of those things with you guys tonight. Kel, I don't know why, but even on my phone, I can't see comments. So I don't want to waste time trying to figure it out. So you just tell me if
comments and questions. Yeah. Can we shout out to Lori Von Holt, who's on here? She's part of our team. Nicole is on here. Nicole Wetzel, she's a moderator. You're also going to see Drew and Ashley Botter from the Botter Homestead. You guys have followed their YouTube channel, I hope. Yeah. If you haven't, go click on their YouTube channel now. And then we've got Rocka Blades here in the comments, and that is really exciting, guys. So you're going to see our moderators. Feel free to ask them questions, tag them, and then remember to add your friends just by sending them a link to this live right now, youtube.com/bettertogetherlife. And then we're going to field your comments through this to Kelly. So Kelly, hit us with these awesome slides.
Perfect. Okay, can you guys see? Are we all set? Yes, we can see them. Okay, I can see them now. Are we still freezing?
Nope, you're good to go.
So weird. I'm freezing on my end. Okay. All right, let's do this. So let's start right off. First of all, I want to tell you guys, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, but don't feel like that you need to memorize everything that we talk about. Definitely take some notes. I'm going to give you some resource guides. This is one of my favorites, Kelly's favorite too. So we'll talk to you about this. There's a lot of places to get really good quality information about how to use essential oils with mamas and babies. And so what I really want to do tonight is give you some ideas, kind of let you know what's out there so that when you either get pregnant or are pregnant or have friends that are pregnant or grandbabies or whatever, you have these in your toolbox. You have these ideas when you have a friend that says, oh my goodness, I'm really struggling with morning sickness. You can say, hey, I have something that might help. Or if you yourself are pregnant, I mean, that would be fun. So maybe in the comments, you guys let us know who's actually pregnant right now, who's coming for yourself, and maybe who's coming for like somebody else. Is there a grandbaby on the way or friends? Or I know Ashley and Drew, you just guys want to soak up everything. And so just let us know maybe who you're listening to or for tonight. Kelly, you're frozen. Can you still hear me?
I'm still hearing you. You're good to go. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Okay, great. So I'm going to preach just a little bit because I just think it's so important. And that is pregnancy really happens, and healthy pregnancies really happen before pregnancy even starts. Okay. And so we're not going to get into infertility tonight. I just want to say that that is such a huge emotional, like passionate topic for us. And there are things that, you know, we can offer support in that area. And so if you know someone that's struggling in that area, I do encourage you to reach out, get a one-on-one with Kelly, and let's talk about some of those things. But tonight, that's outside of the scope of this talk. And so what I want to mention is just what we do to set our bodies up to win before we even get pregnant. And I hate to say it, but it's going to be a healthy diet, decreasing sugar intake. And I'm not going to get into a lot of diet stuff tonight, but I just want to give you two ideas. The paleo diet is a great one you can look at, and the bulletproof diet is a great one you can look at. There's a whole lot of others. But another thing that's really important, because I do see this come into people that don't have serious infertility issues, but have just maybe been trying for a little bit, and they're like, I wonder what's going on. Like, it just seems like I should have gotten pregnant by now. And a lot of people that I work with, they actually have systemic candida. And it's a huge cause of not being able to get pregnant as quickly as you might like to. And so a simple candida cleanse, which again, we have a great protocol that Kelly can walk you through. So just some things to think about before you even get pregnant. But as you're starting to say, yep, I'm ready to, have a baby or the next baby, this is a blend that could help a healthy woman just facilitate that a little bit and get their body ready to receive that sweet baby. And so you can see it here on the slide. It's super simple. You can just take a roller bottle like this, just like this. You can put some clary sage, fennel, geranium, that's 10 drops each of those, and then 5 drops of lavender, and top it off. FCO is just our super stealth way of saying fractionated coconut oil. And these little roller bottles are great. You can just, I don't have a roller in here. It's empty. Well, normally there's a roller top, and you can just roll that right on the abdomen a couple of times a day just to get ready for that baby to come. Okay, this is a question I get asked a lot, so I just want to cover it from the very beginning before we get into more specifics about oils for mamas and babies, and that is our Lifelong Vitality Pack. Who has heard of the Lifelong Vitality Pack? Who's been on a YouTube with us before, or maybe you're already using oils? Kelly, I know you guys use Lifelong Vitality, and Kelly, you used it throughout your last couple of pregnancies, correct?
So I usually use Lifelong Vitality up until that first trimester. And then when I find out I am pregnant, there's some that my midwife really preferred. So we went with that. But I'm telling you, and Kelly, you and I have talked about this all the way, is I struggle with that mental clarity. So as soon as I think if I were to go to a fourth pregnant or a fifth pregnancy, I would certainly do Lifelong Vitality all the way through, because I really struggle when I'm not on those fish oils, that Z omega, my brain, like my clarity of like my mental function, the way I connect thoughts together, struggle during that time. And as I've researched more into this, I've realized how effective just customizing that intake from each of these supplements can benefit you through your pregnancy. So you're not missing out on anything. And I think we're actually educating that group of midwives on how this is such a beneficial blend. So I think you're on quite a bit. And I didn't use them during my pregnancy, but I've said this in classes. I jump back into Lifelong Vitality as soon as my babies come out, because I'm so in need of the way that this balances all of the foundations of my health.
Yeah. So that's great. And I want to point out, so a lot of people say, is Lifelong Vitality enough during pregnancy? I'm not an OB-GYN, I'm not a midwife. So I'm going to teach you from what several OB-GYNs that I have had the blessing of talking to and working with. Noelle Boyd is an OB-GYN here in the Houston area that recommends Lifelong Vitality all throughout pregnancy. Stephanie Fritz is a midwife. You can look at her stuff at the Essential Midwife. She's amazing. doTERRA has done some in-house seminars and webinars that you have access to. Kelly can get you links to the Empowered Life series, and there's some there that talk about mamas and babies and pregnancy. And so I get asked the question a lot, you know, in my opinion, is Lifelong Vitality enough? And I just want to say this: no, Lifelong Vitality is not enough, but no supplement in pregnancy is quote unquote enough. I know that sounds kind of tongue in cheek, but I think it's just so important, because you're growing a little human in there, and a supplement is really meant to supplement a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. And it's why I started with the horrible D word at the beginning, and decreasing sugar and eating more fruits and vegetables. I know it sounds cliche, but it's just so critical to a healthy, full term, like not miscarriage, healthy baby, is getting those sugars down and getting that protein in a healthy diet. And so on the one hand, no, Lifelong Vitality is not enough, because no supplement is enough. So I think a better question is it safe, right? And so in my experience in working with hundreds of customers and clients that have taken Lifelong Vitality all throughout pregnancy, as well as the advice of some OB-GYNs and some experts in the field that work closely with doTERRA, I believe it is safe to take all throughout your pregnancy. Now, whether or not you choose to do it throughout the duration of your pregnancy or up until your first trimester, or you get right back on it postpartum, I think that's a personal decision. And I think that when it comes to having babies, you have to have a really close relationship with your OB-GYN or your midwife. And so I always like to say it's difficult, because if we're working with healthcare professionals that know nothing about essential oils, then they're going to be gun shy, because they just have no experience. But if you're working with a healthcare professional, or you're able to educate a healthcare professional, and they are willing to work with you on that, then Lifelong Vitality can be a really beneficial asset to your pregnancy. At the same time, if you're working with a midwife or someone that has another product that they trust more, this doesn't need to be a battle in your life, right? There's other good supplements for sure that you can take, but I want to make it clear that if Lifelong Vitality is something that you're wanting to take in pregnancy, I do believe it's safe. And I have had several customers and clients that have done both. They've used the brand that their OB or their midwife wanted, and then they've done another pregnancy with Lifelong Vitality all the way through. Many people have told me the things that Kelly just pointed out, that they didn't struggle with that brain fog and that extra fatigue and just some of those things. So it's something to consider and be in open conversations with your midwife or your OB about. I will say this though, if you're working with a very traditional OB that is recommending prescription prenatals that are synthetic, they are not food-based, I and you don't feel good on them, if you just start taking a supplement that you feel terrible on, then I would recommend talking to Kelly or talking to your provider about getting on something that's a little more natural and a little more balanced, like the Lifelong Vitality Pack. I do want to say this about folate. The Lifelong Vitality has 400 micrograms of folate. That is what's recommended. However, there's a lot of things that the USDA recommends that myself and a lot of other functional medicine, coaches and providers think we actually need quite a bit more than what they recommend. So I usually go about 800 to 1200 on folate. And so I do typically, if I'm taking Lifelong Vitality or if I'm recommending it, I would add a really good quality folate supplement to the Lifelong Vitality. So that is also a way, if your doctor's like, oh, there's not enough folate, right? You can say, well, could I just add folate because I have these other ingredients that I really, really like. Okay, so just something to kind of think about. Another thing to say about supplements, again, whether you're taking something from your provider, whether you're using Lifelong Vitality, you need to be on these omega fatty acids. Omega fatty acids have been shown over and over again to reduce the risk of preterm labor and preterm birth significantly. And they're food for mama brain and baby brain. And again, you're growing a little human. This is a miracle. And that baby's brain will increase in weight like 4 to 5 times in just the 3rd trimester. So this is so important to get those in. And I've heard a lot of times people that are on good quality supplements like the Lifelong Vitality Pack, they have more energy, less back pain, better sleep, more stamina, less anxiety. So this is a really important thing to be doing pre-pregnancy and then throughout pregnancy, and really critical postpartum. If your midwife or OB is not comfortable with the Lifelong Vitality Pack during pregnancy and you are comfortable with what they're recommending and you're feeling good, that's fine. Postpartum though, I have seen people just really do well with the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And so something to just consider, okay? Are there questions about that, Kel, before we go on? I know supplements are kind of a hot button in pregnancy.
There aren't, but if I could edify what you just said, can I take a hot second for that?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So we've shared, especially in our essential oils and emotions events, either if you've seen them in live or we've done them right here. Actually, I think that's the one that got interrupted from a storm. Country internet, guys. But here's what's so important that Kelly just touched on: developing the brain health of your baby with the Z omegas, with the omega fatty acids. And I think that this is something that we get into the habit. In particular, I know Kelly's going to talk about postpartum care, but this is something that I just can't encourage you enough to generate conversation in your circles. I know, Nicole, you were sharing that most everyone in your life right now is pregnant, and it seems to happen that way, right? A season where everybody's getting married, where everyone's getting pregnant, where everyone's kids go to college. There are things that we accept as normal because that's what everybody's experiencing. And then there are things that we think are just us, and we isolate those. Mental health, the condition of our minds after babies, is really in this gray zone of what's normal and what's just happening to me. What's happening to you is not just happening to you. It's happening to everyone. And no, it's not normal, but it's very typical. So when you struggle with postpartum brain fog, with feelings of rage, with stress and anxious feelings that are uncharacteristic to you, and Kelly's going to come to this in a few minutes, but this is my story. This is a huge part of my story. And without essential oils, without a praying community of women who are amazing, without the tools that I needed to get better, I would be still stuck in that. And I would still think I was abnormal. And I would still think this was only happening to me. But hormonally, this is something so significant that without those essential factors, without omegas that support your brain health, you really are underperforming as a person and you feel disconnected from who you are. So if that's you and any of that rings a bell and you think, oh, postpartum, I'm not laying on the couch and I'm not feeling bummed, stick with this conversation, because in just a little while, we're going to be able to talk about that critical care after you've had your baby, when you're not going to see someone every week. And even if it's your midwife, they're not asking you every week how you're doing. These are such important things to pay attention to because it benefits your health and the health of your family. So when we talk about things on these Monday nights, like, we're ready to get nitty gritty with you. Don't waste this chance to have Kelly's ear and ask these questions that are so helpful, either for you or people that you love.
Yeah, we will talk about that more in just a little bit, but I just agree. It's just, pregnancy in general is hard, and it's just important to have a community. And it's what I just appreciate about like-minded women, right? It's just nice to have a community of like-minded women that you can pray with and support and dive deep in. And we have that, and we invite you guys to join that. Okay, slim and sassy, stabilizing your metabolic levels and handling those sugar cravings. Okay, so one really important tip in pregnancy: make sure you're getting enough protein. Your doctor or your midwife are going to harp on you about this, and I'm going to add to that. It's really, really, really important. So get you some good protein shakes, some turkey, get some good red meat in, preferably pastured and grass-fed if you can. Some of you might be raising your own cattle, which is amazing. You're welcome to send me a few pounds of ground beef anytime you'd like, but get enough protein in. Cut the sugar. I know it's a bad word, but cut the sugar. And I'm going to give you some tips, okay? I'm not just going to leave you hanging there. This is what we use. We use this Lakanto monk fruit. Okay, this is a sweetener. It looks just like sugar. You can see it there. It's a completely low glycemic, no sugar load, no glycemic burden fruit. It's very sweet. You can use it 1-to-1 as a sugar replacement, although I usually use it half because it tastes sweeter than sugar to me. It doesn't taste artificial. They even have, it looks like the same label, but they have a monk fruit maple syrup. So we don't even use pure maple syrup anymore because my kiddos, just even pure maple syrup would just go nuts. And so we use the monk fruit syrup, like the pancake syrup, and I just let them pour it on because there's literally no glycemic load. So this would be very safe and very great to use in pregnancy to replace some of those sugar cravings. And we also use coconut sugar. So you can get lots of different brands. You can get it at almost every grocery store now. Most of it is sustainably harvested or farmed. But coconut sugar is another one that's a very low glycemic load and can be used for a lot of replacements in your baked things, or we sprinkle it on carrots at night for our kids. They like to have, brown sugar carrots, but it looks brown. My kids don't even actually know what brown sugar is. I know I'm one of those people.
No molasses.
They think this is brown sugar. So coconut sugar. So just some tips. Gestational diabetes is no fun, y'all. Gestational diabetes is when you get diabetes during pregnancy. That you can have diabetes otherwise, and it causes some potential health risks to both mama and baby that if we can avoid those, let's avoid those. So there's some tips for you. But Slim and Sassy is an oil that we have that also can cut down on those sugar cravings and support healthy metabolism that, again, many of the midwives and OBs that I've had the pleasure of sitting under in conferences or even sitting next to and having coffee will use. And so Slim and Sassy being a great way to just control some of those cravings. It comes in a gum, which might be the most easiest way for pregnant mamas to deal with those cravings, is just grab a couple of pieces of that gum when that happens. Just a really great oil. Another thing that happens, and we've seen some research, is that high sugar diets when mama is pregnant actually can affect long-term memory and learning abilities for that baby. So no guilt trip, y'all, just something to really think about. It's not just about you gaining weight. I think that's what I want to really enforce. It really is about the health of your baby and possibly brain function long-term. So, use some of these sugar substitutes, use your Slim and Sassy gum. It's a really great way to decrease those sugar cravings. And we've also seen some studies show that a low sugar or no sugar protocol can cause less tears to no tears. It decreases the amount of blood loss, and some women have shorter labors as compared to their counterparts on maybe a higher sugar diet. So also some really good reasons to think about really focusing in on diet. And if you're not pregnant yet, or you're wanting to get pregnant, make those changes now, because they're going to be a lot easier to make than when baby's pulling all your emotions and sucking the blood and the life right out of you into them, as they're supposed to do. Okay, let's talk about Terrazyme for just a minute. Put in the comments if you've been pregnant before and you remember what it feels like to have, this rock in your stomach, and things don't move as much as they should sometimes, and you get heartburn towards the end. You can't even lay down on a pillow. I mean, it's not fun. So if you've experienced that, talk to us about it. And Terrazyme is your friend in pregnancy. So most of you probably have heard of, or hopefully have heard of, digestive enzymes. Super simple. They're just going to help you break down the proteins mostly in your food so that you can digest them better, which in pregnancy is really, really, really important. You can take 1 or 2 with meals. I'm going to turn my light down a little bit. You can take 1 or 2 with meals. But what I want to talk to you about is actually taking Terrazyme in a different way. I want to talk to you about also taking it on an empty stomach. So you can put this in the chat, Kelly. Let me find my little, okay, there is a trivia word for you. I don't think I can type it in the chat right now, but there's a trivia word, autophagy. A-T-O-P-H-A-G-Y. So you guys can all look it up if you want to. Autophagy. Autophagy is a fancy word for, we have cells all inside our body. And inside of these cells are these little organelles. So things live inside of our cells. Go look up organelles if you don't remember it from high school biology. And so autophagy is those organelles actually die. They don't live forever. Our cells die. We have a whole nother process called apoptosis for our cells. But within our little cells, these organelles die, and that debris has to be mopped or cleaned up. And so digestive enzymes, especially protease enzymes like our Terrazyme, can help mop up that intracellular debris, keeping your cells healthy. And we don't have a lot of time to get in tonight why healthy cells are important, but just trust me, healthy cells are really important. And healthy cells in pregnancy are going to be really important. So taking Terrazyme on an empty stomach right before bed or first thing in the morning is another way to just really boost your immune system. It can help mop up after viruses and bacteria. Do you know when a virus dies, it basically can explode and release all these toxins? It's like its own self-defense mechanism, and those toxins need to be mopped up. If you're already in our community and you saw the post I put in the Essentially Blessed community a few weeks ago, viruses, we have this picture of what a virus looks like on our cell, and it looks like this crazy like spaceship thing. It's freaky. And so these Terrazyme, these enzymes, protease enzymes, can help mop them up. Protease enzymes can even help tear down the cell wall of bacteria and viruses so that they can be killed easier by our On Guard or something like that. So mamas, if you've been pregnant and you've ever gotten a stomach bug or the flu or something like that, you know it's like double as miserable. So the healthier you can keep your immune system, especially in that first trimester, the better off you're going to be. And the more quickly you can rid your body of some of these foreign invaders that like to sneak in, especially during pregnancy, because our immune systems can be a little lower. Terrazyme is something that can really help you. There are some studies to show that protease enzymes can help prevent recurrent miscarriages. So if that has been something you've struggled with, Terrazyme might be just a tool to add to the tool belt that you want to be working with your doctor on. They can really help people with polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOS. They can help with endometriosis, fibroids. Sometimes women with PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids can struggle to get recurrent pregnancies, and Terrazyme again can be a tool in that tool belt. And then of course for all of us, just third trimester, heartburn, all of those things, sluggish digestion, constipation. I mean, growing a human is a lot of work. So Terrazyme can just help with a lot of those things. The next one I want to talk about a little bit briefly, but I'm not good at being brief, is PB Assist. So probiotics. It's really important that you're getting good probiotics in. And I'm going to try to make this short, but did you know that when a baby is born, they basically have a sterile colony? Their GI tract is free of any bacteria or microorganisms, even the good kind. They're just empty. And the way that they start to colonize their intestines with healthy bacteria is actually during the birth canal, during the birth process, through the birth canal with mama's flora. And so that's how a baby starts to turn on even their immune system and recognize good versus harmful things. And that's the very beginning of their immune system, is right there in their gut. And by the second year of life, a child's microflora or their microbiome in their gut is usually more similar to an adult. But for that first 2 years, we have to really support that. And one of the best ways to do that is mama making sure you have a healthy gut biome and flora throughout pregnancy and during that birth process. Now, if you have a C-section, obviously the baby doesn't go through the birth canal, but nursing is actually another way to get really good, healthy probiotics into your baby. So if you're nursing, you want to stay on those probiotics throughout that nursing time, because you're going to pass those good bugs to those babies. And if you're in a situation where either you're not able to, or you choose not to have a vaginal birth or nurse, then a lot of the formulas, that's why they add probiotics to formulas and things. And unfortunately, the probiotics they add to formulas, though, may not be shelf stable. They may not actually be in quantities in the end product that you want. So this is something you might want to consider supplementing for your baby, if that is the situation you're in. So that's something you can reach out to Kelly and we can help you with a little bit more. But probiotics are just so, so important. And then like Kelly said, postpartum, so much of our gut is related to our brain health. There's more neurotransmitters in the gut produced than there are in the brain. You've probably heard by now, it's been all over for the last almost 10 years now. We've been talking about this gut-brain connection, and it's just so critical. And so probiotics all throughout that postpartum period, and really for most people, always being on probiotics is a good idea, but just super, super important. So Kel, any questions about that?
No, I'll stop for some comments real quick. I just want to encourage you, Kelly. The botters said, Kelly is on fire, and they're talking about you. And then a couple of mamas are like, man, I'm having flashbacks, or I wish I'd had this years ago. Maybe they're out of the season of having babies. I completely agree, because I had I had 2 babies without doTERRA. So no essential oils, no Terrazyme, no PB Assist. And then someone asked about lifelong vitality. What if you're allergic to fish? So we do have a vegan version that has no marine oils in it. And folate, yes to folate, and no to folic acid, a synthetic that for a lot of us, especially a lot of us who struggle with some, like MTHFR, that we can't even absorb any of that. Yeah. So having a quality, and Kelly, you guys, is such a snob when it comes to lifelong vitality. She has a whole presentation on it in our oil camp that I wish, like every time I watch it, I learn something new. And I'm not kidding you. I've seen it over a dozen times. But she's such a stickler for quality ingredients. And she even hesitated to start vitality. So she has a whole presentation on that. But when she's talking about this, there's the benefit of hearing from Kelly as a presenter. So when Ashley says, yes, Kelly is on fire, if y'all aren't taking notes, you're missing out. Like, get it out now so that you will make the most out of our time.
We haven't even talked about oils yet. And I'm going to talk to mamas about sleep a little bit. So now that the sun is down here, I'm going to practice what I preach and put on my cool blockers. Okay, you guys, you can get these from Amazon for like $7. You don't have to spend $100. These are Uvex, UVEX. I know I look like a superhero right now. Okay.
Girl, you're ready to rock us with the super info.
Okay, we are not even to oils yet, so let's keep moving. Okay. Bone nutrient complex, just an obvious one. It's just important to get magnesium and calcium and things like that in. But specifically, what you may or may not know is magnesium deficiency is part of what's linked to severe nausea in that first trimester of pregnancy. So one of the things, if you are dealing with really severe nausea, that you want to try is adding magnesium. Bone nutrient complex is a great way to do that. And another great thing to do is make a magnesium foot spray. Kelly, you can probably put the recipe from the DIY blog in the YouTube comments later, but just a super simple thing to do. And we do that every night before we go to sleep. It's right over there somewhere. Getting enough protein in, again, I keep mentioning that, but it's important. So you can do Vital Proteins collagen. That's great. Bulletproof has a great collagen. Primal Proteins has a great protein. Just lots of different ways to get a good quality protein in. And I say quality because your little smoothie from Smoothie King or, HEB protein powder doesn't count. So just something to consider. Oils for morning sickness, since we are talking, on this slide, here's some oils that you want to try for morning sickness. So let's get into the nitty gritty. Peppermint is kind of your old favorite. It's a go-to. It works really well for a lot of people. It did not work for me. Ginger was my go-to. And in fact, I don't have them right here. doTERRA now has the ginger lemon throat lozenges that I just can't wait to be hearing feedback from pregnant mamas about. I have, if you've been on a call with me, I mean, a webinar with me before, if you're in our community already, you might know that I have biotoxin illness. So I have some, hopefully not chronic, but have been a long time where I have a lot of pain and a lot of fatigue and a lot of brain fog because my body can't process toxins, specifically mycotoxins from mold. And I get nauseous somewhat frequently. And I have been just eating those ginger lemon drops, and they have been so helpful. So I just know they're going to help our pregnant mamas so much. You can also just put any, peppermint or ginger right in your hands and just take some deep breaths. Another great thing during pregnancy is to wear a diffuser necklace or a diffuser bracelet. You could put your ginger or peppermint on there and just breathe it in. A lot of ways to use that. Digestive, I've heard from several mamas, is their go-to for morning sickness, all day sickness. And other mamas, I've heard breathe is one that they like to really go to for that morning sickness or that all day sickness. And so I mentioned several to also let you know that sometimes it's not a one size fits all. And that's where I love that we work together in a community. If you decide to purchase oils from HEB, first of all, the 16-year-old working there doesn't have a clue what to tell you, not even talking about purity. But when you're working with a community of people that are trying and committed to helping people feel better, we'll help you work through what maybe is the next step for you. But if you're just getting to try some peppermint or some ginger, that's a great place to start. You can see here on the slide, cardamom is another one you can use. You can try different reflexology points and things. You can put it behind the ear. You can put it on reflexology of the feet. Just a great place to try to use those. And don't forget about your Terrazyme. And then finally, lemon. Lemon can be a really great support as well for constipation, morning sickness, just kind of all over bowel stuff. Just putting a few drops of lemon in water each day can really help to alleviate some of those symptoms. Okay, I hate to do this to you guys, but this is like a long list. So again, I told you that I just wanted to give you guys some ideas like, oh, is there an oil for that? I know that's cliche. Can I just say, I don't actually believe there's an oil for everything. I know we hear that again. I know we all say there's an oil for that. I don't actually believe there's an oil for everything, okay? Like, somebody broke their arm the other day and was like, do you have an oil for this? I was like, well, I have an oil for the bruising and the swelling, but that's a fracture. You need to go to the ER. So I don't think there's an oil for everything, but there is an oil for a lot. And so this list, I'm not going to go through every single thing because I think your head would be spinning, but I want you to know daddies, peppermint is a great. You can also use Mito 2 Max. Okay, so this is one I wasn't sure about in pregnancy, and I get a lot of questions. So at a seminar recently, I asked Dr. Noelle Boyd about that, and she said she loves to use Mito 2 Max for mamas, even pregnant mamas, if they're tired and need that little pick-me-up. So it's something you can try and see how you adjust to that. Headaches are a common thing in pregnancy. We have an oil called Past Tense that works really well. Heartburn is a big thing. We talked about using Terrazyme, but I also want you to know that we have something called Digest Tabs. That is basically digestin oil and a calcium carbonate sort of thing. Kind of like a Tums, but so much better for you. And so that is a great thing to have in your arsenal. If you're kind of making a list of things pregnant mamas need, Digest Tabs is going to definitely be one of them. And then we have this weird round ligament pain that happens because we have this round ligament right over kind of our hip bones down the front of our groins. And it's supposed to be about the size of our pinky. And it's supposed to be about as thin as a pencil. But as mamas get pregnant, it stretches out like super, super long. It stretches out to the size of a pencil, even though it's supposed to be about this big. And so that's going to cause some pain and discomfort, a lot of pain and discomfort. I've seen really good results with layering, aroma touch, and white fur. And layer just means take some coconut oil, put that in the area, then put your aroma touch a drop or two on that area, and then your white fur on that area. Okay, so that's a really, really great way to help soothe that round ligament pain. Again, just to know that there's such great resources. In fact, most of this slide you can find in this book in the pregnancy section. called the Essential Life. Kelly can hook you up with this if it's something that you already have oils and you're interested in learning about, but some great things. Okay, here's another kind of throw it at you slide, but I'm just going to highlight a few. I just want you to know we have solutions for all of this. Backaches. Oh my gosh, it's like we all get backaches in pregnancy. So we have an oil called Deep Blue that works really, really well. I actually like to layer Deep Blue and lavender for pregnancy back pain. And another one that interestingly works really well is black pepper, maybe an oil that you haven't learned about much or heard about, but works really well for that back pain, not only in pregnancy, but in back labor. I had severe back labor with my first almost 24 hours of it, and black pepper was like a lifesaver. And so that's a great one. Another one is stretch marks. Nobody really loves those. And our Immortel blend is amazing. And Stephanie Fritz gave us a tip on a webinar that she did. You use Immortel for your face. It's a wonderful oil to help us stay young on the inside and out for those of us approaching our 50s, like me. And so you just can apply this around your eyes on, you know, those wonderful laugh lines that everybody thinks are so, you know, older people say are glamorous, and us just hitting 50 are like, oh, not so glamorous yet. So Immortel. And then when you run out to about a quarter of the bottle, you can just fill it with fractionated coconut oil, and you can rub that all over your sweet little pregnant tummy all throughout pregnancy. So great support for those stretch marks. Let's see, anything else on this list that anybody is like, I need to know right now? We have leg cramps, varicose veins, skin problems, sore muscles. While you're commenting, I'm going to tell you one more, and that's sleep. It's so important, mamas, to get enough sleep, both in pregnancy and postpartum, in life, really, and preparing for pregnancy. We have some incredible results with sleep. In fact, I do an entire class just on sleep. I'm so passionate about it because I did not sleep for the first 3 years of my first child's life. Kelly and Bo know I'd be over their nights, be like, what am I going to do? Right? We just did not sleep. And it was just, I remember having panic attacks at the grocery store. I told my husband one day, I'm not meant to be a mama. Like, I can't even function. And I was sleep deprived, clinically sleep deprived. And it's just so important. And so we have such amazing solutions for sleep. There is not a single person I've personally worked with that we have not been able to help find solutions for sleep. Okay, so Kelly, we can help you. Kelly has these solutions in her back pocket too. Like, we can help you sleep. Don't let this be something that you struggle with. And a really simple thing that you can start with is some just calming oils at night. Lavender is a wonderful one. Peace is wonderful, and Roman chamomile is wonderful. Balance that Kelly's giving away is incredible. You can add some vetiver if you have that mind chatter at night. Another one that I really, really like is the Serenity soft gels, or even just a few drops of lavender internally. And you may say, oh, is it safe to take lavender internally in pregnancy? And yes, I believe absolutely taking a few drops of lavender internally when you need it to get a good night's sleep is way more healthy and way more productive for you than what you're doing to your body and your baby by staying up and not sleeping. So just some things to think about on sleep. Kelly,
that's so good. Yeah, we've got a couple of things. So sleep, I remember, and again, you guys know Kelly Couch and I have a long history, and I remember those struggles that we would share again in community. It's why this team is such a great team to join if you're not already working with someone, because the context of community is what Kelly has built with all of us. So everything she starts here is absolutely richly rooted in what we do every single day on our team. I remember when Kelly got the soft gels for the first time, we were all at convention. And Kel, I remember you were just like, guys, this is changing my whole life. And it's so true. So here are some of the questions, Kel. We have Life Unscripted asked about hip spread and sciatic. Then varicose veins and sleep is a question from the Botter Homestead. She asked about stretch marks, and you hit up Immortel. I think that's awesome. Another one that I would highly recommend is like an unscented lotion using myrrh and frankincense. If you just have individual oils, Immortel is phenomenal. And I love that oil. I love that oil. The next would be Michelle Harold asked about white fur. And Nicole loves your glasses, Kelly.
Thank you. Okay, stretch marks. We covered Immortelle. I agree with you. That's another great option. Varicose veins. This is this is one that requires a little bit of art and maybe working with Kelly or whoever your wellness advocate is, because there's a lot of different things that work, but here's some you could try. Lemon, cypress, geranium, marjoram, helichrysum is a great one. In any combination of those, really, and sometimes you just think, well, let me just use what I have, but those are some great ones. And actually in the Essential Life book, I remember seeing a specific varicose vein blend that has worked really well for people. And actually on the Better Together team, Carrie Vasic has had great results with varicose veins as well. I know. Yeah, I believe Cypress is in there. Maybe we can get with her and ask her exactly what she uses and put it in the top.
Absolutely. Great idea.
Places to start would be cypress, helichrysum, some marjoram, some geranium is a great place to start for those. Yeah. And then what was the other? Sciatica. So sciatica, I would start with maybe like an aroma touch oil. Again, it kind of comes down to what you have. So if you have some oils that are anti-inflammatory, soothing. One of the things I wanted to say in the beginning of this little section of just hammering you guys with lists of things is, rather than memorize the oils that I'm talking about necessarily, you can start, if you're a little bit further along in your oil journey, you can start to learn oils by categories. Which oils are calming, which oils are soothing to the skin, which oils are soothing to the muscles or the body. And then you can look at your giant oil box, like I have sitting right next to me, and pick which ones that you want to use. Until you're a little more proficient at that, a resource like this, or like these two women talking to you, right? Or things like our community group are going to be just great, because you can jump on the community group and you can say, hey, what worked for sciatica? I can barely walk. And you're going to get 10 or 20 women or more sometimes giving you their suggestions. But Aroma Touch is a very simple one. It's already in a blend and it's a great place to start. I missed
so good.
Cover everybody's.
Yeah, that is so good. I think you've got all of them so far. But guys, this is what I'm saying. Like, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time by sitting here and lurking if you really have questions that would help you or someone you love, because this is an invaluable resource, not only in two mamas who use oils, love oils, and help truly hundreds of people use oils every week, but then really specifically, like, these resources that Kelly's referring to are going to be such wonderful tools for you, either for what you're going through right now or for the people that you love.
Yeah. Kelly, we have a few more things to cover, and I'm good. Are you guys still good? I know it's getting close to 9 o'clock. Do we want to keep going?
Let us know if you guys need to hop off, but yeah, let's do about 15 more minutes if that's cool with you, Cal. This is awesome.
Okay, sciatic nerve, I just looked it up real quick for you. Here's what Stephanie Fritz recommends. Put 8 to 10 drops of these oils: helichrysum, lavender, marjoram, and Roman chamomile, 8 to 10 drops each in a 10 ml roller bottle like this, and apply it as needed. So lavender, helichrysum, marjoram, and Roman chamomile. That's one blend you could try. Again, I really like to start with blends that doTERRA's already created for us. It just is a lot simpler in my opinion. So try Aroma Touch, but if that's not doing it for you, here's another option: the helichrysum, lavender, marjoram, Roman chamomile. Okay.
And that's in a 10 ml roller. Great.
Yep. Yeah, if you have sensitive skin, or if you're someone that wants to use, a little bit less in pregnancy, you can always adjust for yourself until you know your amounts. But those are the numbers that Stephanie Fritz uses and recommended in her webinar. So you could start there. Okay. All right. Great. Let's see now. Where was I? Okay. Labor and delivery. Can we move on to labor and delivery? Baby's actually getting ready to come.
Best part.
Okay. All right. Okay, there's a big, who can tell me, okay, here's a little trivia question. Ashley's probably going to totally know this. Laura, you can't answer because you, I'm sure, know this. But Ashley is probably going to know this because she's a smarty pants. Who knows, is it safe and effective to use Clary Calm throughout all of your pregnancy, true or false? Clary Calm through all of your pregnancy, safe and effective, true or false? I loaded it a little bit to give you some hints. Okay, my second question is it safe and effective to use Clary Sage, the single oil, throughout all of your pregnancy? True or false? Did anybody get it, Kelly? Is anybody taking?
I'm watching the comments. Okay, so Life Unscripted, Izzy Eats says yes.
Okay. Okay. So Clary Calm is a blend that we have that is wonderful. Shall we just say it, for the crazy hot mess women can be during that time of the month and in pregnancy? I mean, we know we can be a crazy hot mess. I mean, and our guys totally know we can be a crazy hot mess. And our really good girlfriends know we can be a crazy hot mess and love us anyway. Kelly has seen me through more crazy hot mess seasons than anybody should ever have to see a friend because that's just where I'm at in life and hormones and health. So Clary Calm is, we had a guy at a class, I don't know how long ago, maybe it was your class, Kelly, that said they wanted to buy stock in Clary Calm.
Yes.
That's what it did for their wife. It might have, was it Kat's husband? It might have
I think it was wife and all the daughters that he had.
Yeah. So Clary Calm is definitely an oil for your arsenal, ladies and gentlemen, for your wives. And it is safe and effective to use all during pregnancy. Clary Sage is an oil in Clary Calm, but as a single oil, and it's such a small amount, the OB-GYNs and the midwives that I have talked to said there's so much benefit to using Clary Calm for healthy emotions and hormones, and it's just such a great oil to use as needed during pregnancy and to feel safe doing that. However, Clary Sage, on the other hand, can do this wonderful thing, which is once labor has started, it can urge it on just a little bit, okay? It can help induce labor a little bit in women where labor has already started or they are at full term. Because of that mechanism of action, we call it, because of the way we know Clary Sage can work in full-term pregnancy to induce pregnancy a little bit, we would typically recommend that you not use it during other stages of pregnancy, and especially not use it if you're having any kind of heavy Braxton Hicks or preterm labor or anything like that. Unless you're ready to have that baby, and I don't mean ready like emotionally get this thing out of me. I mean like your body is ready. You're at least 40 weeks or beyond, or whatever your OB has told you. That's when you want to use Clary Sage. Now, that being said, Clary Sage is wonderful to use when you're 40 weeks or beyond, or whatever your date is that you and your doctor are comfortable with. First-time mamas, by the way, if you let your pregnancy go naturally, the average gestation is actually 41 weeks and 1 day. So I hate to break it to you, don't get too antsy at 40 weeks because the is 41 weeks in a day, and that baby will come. Just be patient. I know it's hard, but that baby will come. However, if you were like me right at 40 weeks, I was getting the Clary Sage and I was like loading my ankles. Now my first child, it still took another week and a half. My second child, however, I delivered before my midwife barely even got her gloves on and showed up at my house. So I'm a big fan of second babies and Clary Sage. You can put that on the ankles at the induction points. You can look up a picture. It's just right on the inside below the ankle. And you can do that every couple of hours once you've started labor, or even if labor has stalled. Great oil to have on hand. So keep that in mind. I mentioned it already, but another oil for your birth bag is going to be black pepper for back labor. Great oil. Basil is another one that can be helpful for back labor. And then again, Clary Sage or even myrrh can be great for stalled labor. So these are some maybe just to have in your bag. If you're just going to pick two of those, Clary Sage and black pepper are great ones to have on hand. Okay.
Right.
And then for diffusing, two of the greatest oils in your birth bag to diffuse is a combination of Balance, which Kelly is giving away so generously tonight. You don't want to miss that. So you guys get your people on here. We still have a few minutes, and be commenting. And Wild Orange, really uplifting, plus the grounding effects of Balance, just great to have in your diffuser in your home or birth room or wherever you're giving birth to that baby. You know, if you're a long ways from the hospital, have a car diffuser, because every now and then our people get
say in the car.
Right. So just, especially if you think you're going to have a baby in the car, have a car diffuser just in case for Balance and Wild Orange. It's going to make it all so much better. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next stages of your sweet pregnancy. So stages of labor, that sweet phase 1 where you're just like, oh, I think maybe I'm gonna have a baby today, and have grandma pick up the kids, and you're able to take a shower and you get some food. It's just so nice. Okay, so for some of us this lasts hours. For some of us that have had several kids, that may only be a few minutes, or you may sleep through that because you're like, oh, I'm not ready yet. But balance is wonderful. Peace is wonderful. And again, we mentioned the wild orange. Citrus bliss is also a great time during the day. And you want to adjust that first stage of labor. If it's evening, rest as much as you can. So get balance, get peace. If you can even go back to sleep in early stages of labor, you should do that. And then daytime, if you want to be alert and just, you're in your last stages of nesting, then wild orange and citrus bliss are really great ones. And then as you move into active labor, you are going to want these 3 oils in your birth bag: lavender, frankincense, and peppermint. You can put 5 to 8 drops of each in a roller bottle. This is going to wake you up. This is going to make you alert. This is going to help you get through that active stage of labor. The lavender is going to calm the anxiety a little bit. The frankincense is going to support mood and cellular health and overall just balancing of hormones. And that peppermint is going to give you the alertness that you're going to need. So some ways that you might apply this. This is something to talk to your husband or your doula, whoever's there with you during your birth, about ahead of time. Is, when do you want them to offer oils? You may have no idea, but it's something to just talk about. And so them having this roller bottle ahead of time, and maybe just, do you like it on the back of your neck? Do you want it on your diffuser necklace? Do you want it on your chest so you can smell it? But test out that dilution before pregnancy and just make sure it's a comfortable dilution for you. For example, for me, I have really sensitive skin, so I would probably drop that peppermint down a little bit, but I might bump up the frankincense because I really like that aroma. So just customize this blend for you, but those are the oils you might start with. Another really nice thing during active labor is give some peppermint beadlets. They're these tiny little explode in your mouth things. And you could give that to your partner or your husband, your doula, so that when they're in your face coaching you and they've had coffee all day or night or whatever, you're not like, get away. So super awesome tip is peppermint beadlets in the birth bag for your doula or your husband. Really great one. And then we mentioned clary sage for stalled labor. And then transition, that fun time where you are like, I'm never going to do this again, but we do it again. Frankincense and Melissa. You can switch out your diffuser if you want, or you can just add it to your balance and your wild orange. Frankincense and Melissa is so great to help you through that transition. A little bit of basil right on the back of your ear can also give a little added oomph to the adrenals and to the brain, can really just give you that extra boost of courage to get through transition. And again, inhaling some peppermint. And a really good way to do that would be have your husband or doula put it on their hand and just let you breathe it so that when it's too much, you can pull it away rather than putting it on you. I wouldn't suggest putting a lot of oils on you in transition. There's too many senses, too much happens, and you can't remove it if you want to. So in transition, have someone put it on their hand, or put it on a necklace that you can pull away. And again, those peppermint beadlets in his mouth could be really helpful as well. Any questions about this? And I'll go into the last stages and we'll spend a little time on babies and we'll be done for the night.
No, Kel, this is great. I think one more thing to add is, and I know, is a lot of people who are going to tune into a call about oils are going to be kind of crunchy, right? So if you guys are cloth diapering or having babies at home or in the water, to not put oils on your person, especially if you're planning on any stage of labor being in the water. Because once you put those on your body, they're going to be floating in the water, and then your baby's experiencing essential oils in an uncontrollable way once they come into the world. So we don't want these to be water birth babies coming into water that has essential oils in them. It's just not a good idea. So for most of your labor, it's funny because as we go into that Oils 101 class next week, there are those 3 ways to use your oils: topically, aromatically, like Kelly's just, even like your partner having peppermint in their mouth is aromatically, and then and we don't need to use those topically in order to get their benefits. So there's that misunderstanding in your experience that you have to put oils on or in. You can still get such great benefits from even smelling the bottle, opening up that peppermint or putting it in the diffuser right by wherever you're laboring. But definitely one of those safety tips is just not using oils on your peppermint, especially in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, I will give a little caveat to that. I do think for early labor, where you're really where it's that early stages of labor and contractions and you're not pushing yet, I think some oils like black pepper, lavender, even deep blue can be really great on the back and even on the abdomen. And if you are going to get into the water, a lot of that is going to be absorbed really quickly. So if you are going to get into the water and you've used some of those, like I don't think I could have gotten through labor at home without black pepper with that back labor, but you just might, if you still have, if it just applied it or something, you can just wipe that off. But once you're in that transition phase and you're getting ready to push, if you think you're going to get in the water, I definitely wouldn't apply on you while you're in the water or just before you were getting in the water. I think that's a good point. Pushing.
Someone asked about preeclampsia, Cal.
Yeah. So preeclampsia is definitely something that is way out of the scope of just being able to manage with essential oils. I think preeclampsia, where we want to manage that, is preventing it from the beginning, which is making sure that we're getting, we're decreasing sugar, we're decreasing stress. Now, if you start to see, blood pressures going up, things like that, then you can try at least some, stress methods, and you can try some oils for hypertension, and try to do that in monitoring with your physician. But that's not something I can say I've had a ton of experience with clients necessarily using oils. You might check Stephanie Fritz's website and see if she says anything specific. But, most of that I think is going to be, I think where oils really benefit is helping us to hopefully have a healthy pregnancy where we're preventing that and not necessarily trying to counter it once it has started, because that's definitely a different thing. Okay. Pushing. Motivate roller is so great when you're actually ready to push. The Motivate roller, have that. And again, you can put that on your partner. You can put just a little bit in your hands and smell it, wipe them off, however you want to do that. But Motivate is really great. And again, we mentioned the peppermint beadlets for dad. And then a lot of us, if we have a midwife, are going to have already done a perineal massage, with some different oils to help that birth canal just open up and prevent those tears and have that baby slip right out. But also a lot of midwives will use like an olive oil with a little bit of geranium or helichrysum right on the birth opening there, right? Just before, as the baby's crowning, they'll even like place that warm olive oil all around the birth canal opening and the baby's head, and that can really help prevent tears. Now, when you're in the water, that's not normally needed or necessary. It's just a different process. But I had one baby in the water and one baby on my bed, and so definitely that warm olive oil with some essential oils while they were crowning was something that my midwife did and was great. And then finally, delivering the placenta. This is going to be something that we did with our second baby, because our first baby, I did have some bleeding that required some IM Pitocin there at my house, which was not fun because then I had horrible afterbirth pains. So our second baby, we used a blend really similar to this. And it was just something I applied right over the abdomen after baby was born and as we were beginning to deliver the placenta. And it just can help to support tightening that uterus up and controlling bleeding, especially that helichrysum can help control bleeding. So lavender, helichrysum, and clary sage, 5 to 8 drops in a roller, along with uterine massage, which is what a lot of midwives or doctors will do as the placenta is being delivered. That can just be a nice oil to use in addition to any kind of uterine massage as you're delivering that placenta. So if you've had babies in the past and you've had any bleeding, or if even if you haven't had that and this is just a nice thing you want to do, it's comforting, this could be a roller you could make up in advance. Talk to your midwife or your doctor ahead of time to see if they'd be comfortable adding that to the placental massage when the placenta is being delivered, because it can be great. Okay, a couple more quick ones. So Pericare spray. Okay, we love this. This is our popsicle pad. You can take a menstrual pad, and you can cover it with this spray that you can make ahead of time and then stick it in the freezer. And it is so great. You can also use this in a spray bottle to spray right over the perineum, because a baby just came out from down there and things are kind of inflamed and stretched and things don't feel quite right. And this is so soothing. It's probably my favorite thing of like all of using oils in pregnancy, is helping that all just calm down and not be so uncomfortable. Okay. It's so great. So you can make this with myrrh, helichrysum, lavender, and frankincense in a little spray bottle. And you can just keep it in the bathroom and you can just spray all your girl parts. And then you can spray a pad with some witch hazel or even some aloe vera juice, and you can stick it in the freezer, and it's so soothing. So if you're having a baby in a traditional hospital, they may not tell you about this. Your midwives for sure will. But if you're having a baby in a hospital, they might tell you. So bring your little frozen pops ahead of time. Kelly, you did these, right?
Kelly, so tell us how you make the pad. Like if someone's going to prepare for this, what do they do to create this pad? I know the recipe for the oils, but how do they actually take steps so they're ready?
Yeah, correct me if I'm not remembering this correctly, because it was now 5 years ago. But if I remember correctly, you just take the big maxi, the postpartum pad, and we used,
the ones that are 5 feet long.
Yeah, the huge thing, this huge, thick, crazy thing. And you see that before you've ever had a baby. You're like, do I really need that? And then it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you do.
The miracle of life is like, man, it's like PG-13. Okay. So I think if I remember correctly, I did half witch hazel and half water, and you just soak it, and then you can just spray the oil right on there, and then you just stick it in the freezer, and that witch hazel and water will just kind of freeze that pad. And when you put it, down there on your girl parts, it is just so soothing. And then the spray bottle, you just keep in a little spray bottle, and you just spray down there anytime.
That's so for real. Like, I mean, the miracle of life is messy, but here's the deal. Like, if you've got a friend who's pregnant for the first time ever and they don't know anything about that, you can just send them this video, because this is the part that nobody talks about. But honestly, if you just have that little bit of comfort there, it makes such a big difference. And it's personal, it's out loud. But it really does, like, man, if you can talk about the postpartum junk, like, you're best friends for life. Like, nothing's coming between you. So that's a Kelly couch tip, and that's for free, guys.
Okay, let's get to postpartum, and then we probably need to wrap it up, unless you guys are still hanging in there. If there's still people here, they're amazing. I can't go
people who want to talk about the messiness of the miracle of birth.
I cannot go on to postpartum until I just say this: skin to skin contact is so special and sweet. I'm not going to talk a lot about it. We're running out of time. You can Google it. You can call Kelly and talk personally. Kelly did this. I did this. My babies went onto my bare chest or my husband's bare chest and didn't come off for 48 hours. In fact, both of my girls, I have pictures, they slept right on top of my husband's bare chest the first like 2 or 3 days of life. And then he passed me to the nurse, and it's the sweetest thing. So look it up, talk to us, skin to skin. It creates this incredible bonding. There's something called kangaroo care in South Africa where it was created, where NICU babies don't go to the NICU. They're actually bundled in wraps to mama, and their outcomes are unbelievably different than here. And so just something to know about and talk about and think about, because it's a super, super special time. And then afterbirth pains stink. It's like sometimes as bad as childbirth.
Yeah.
Afterbirth pains, white fur and lavender layered on the abdomen is great. I want to say this because I think it's really important. Deep blue is amazing for afterbirth pains, but it's a stronger oil. And if baby who's snuggling you happens to get a foot or a hand down there right after you've applied deep blue, it's not dangerous, but it could be uncomfortable for them. It could cause some skin irritation, some burning. They're not going to like that. So I would stick with milder oils, especially in the beginning, of like white fur and lavender, so that you can have no fear and just snuggling that baby all up all day. Okay. Kelly, I have a bunch of things on oils for baby, but I don't think, do we want to skip these and maybe we'll do just a baby and child class some other time? I think we've loaded people with a lot of information.
Yeah, I think what we could do, Cal, is just, if you would just run through them, then they can take a quick screenshot, and then they can set up we talk about this, or we can do this as a totally separate event. But if we can just give them that.
They're not on slides. It's just
well then no, let's do a whole nother class.
A whole class on kids and babies. So let's wrap up with a couple of two things. Let me go back one slide here for just a second. I do want to talk about postpartum for just another second. Kelly already covered a lot of it, but lifelong vitality and especially those omegas are so important. And what I recommend to mamas struggling with postpartum is actually add our children's omega, the IQ omega, on top of the lifelong vitality pack. So adding in a teaspoon or even 2 of that IQ omega every day is going to help boost that mood so much. Keep taking your probiotics, and then get a diffuser necklace, a diffuser. Use these boosting emotional oils, high energy oils like Cheer, Elevate. But the biggest thing, and Kelly already mentioned it, but I just think it's so important to keep mentioning, is to talk about it. Find a community. And let me just tell you, if you don't have a community and you're watching this, find us. Get in touch with Kelly, the Better Together Life group. We have many mamas that have been through this. We have grandmamas that had helped us get through this. This is something that is just, I went through it big time. Kelly did, some other women in our group did, and we will walk this out with you. We will hold your hand. We will hug you. We will pray for you. We will give you advice. We can take it. We can take all your hot mess craziness. Please reach out for this. Here is a blend that you could try. It's not actually a blend. You'll use these oils directly. Take your Rose Touch and roll it right over your heart, your neck, your arms, your pulse points, wherever. And then immediately follow that with a drop of wild orange and 3 drops of sandalwood. Okay, so you can layer rose, wild orange, and sandalwood on for postpartum, and that could help. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the touch kit and a little bit of safety. So this is the baby shower gift of the century, people. This is the thing to give mamas. If you can do the entire kit, they're going to be so blessed. If you can't and you need to do a smaller gift and you can do a couple of oils like a lavender and a frankincense, it's going to be so wonderful, because your new mama is going to use this through pregnancy, through birth, and then on babies. This touch kit, these oils are pre-diluted for skin sensitivity in children and people with sensitive skin, including pregnant women. They're wonderful. It's just such an easy way, especially for a new oil user, to start using oils quickly. Okay, so such a great thing is the touch kit. And if you do not have a membership yet with doTERRA, this is a great way to get started with a touch kit. You can get a touch kit plus a whole year of a wholesale membership so that you don't have to pay retail prices for $204. Great way to get started. We have several options on how you can get started for all budgets. So if you don't have your membership yet, if you don't have some oils yet, or if you have a friend that doesn't have some oils yet, I just encourage you, get in touch with this sweet woman on this side of your screen here and talk to her about that. Let's see, do I have anything else? Other really quick thing for kids is, if you're concerned about sensitivity on a kid or even anybody, a really easy way to test for skin sensitivity is to actually take a Band-Aid and to put a little drop of the oil on the back of the Band-Aid and put it on an area like the lower ankle or the back of the shoulder, not the chest or abdomen that's normally more sensitive, but the leg or the shoulder or something like that. And then just, it's called a patch test actually. And you can just leave that on there. And if there's any redness or irritation that develops, then there's likely a skin sensitivity and you would want to dilute more or avoid that oil. So if you are someone that just knows you're sensitive to things and you want to kind of test that out, that's a really easy way to do it. But again, the touch kit is so easy. Most, if not all of the people that I have had the privilege of coaching through essential oil use, the touch kit is so wonderful. And you can adjust that, more or less dilution if you need to, but it's such a great place to start. So Kelly, I think we've covered as much as we can cover tonight. Let me see everybody's, there we go. Okay. Mama, go forth and have babies with oil.
And here's the deal, guys. Every time we have an online, this is the beginning. Our goal is to support you through every age and every stage using essential oils or using doTERRA products to help you take those baby steps to get from where you are to where you really want to be. And sometimes it's hard to even envision what that could look like. If you are like me when we began and you use Clorox anywhere, everywhere, and you eat or whatever you can get, comfort food, comfort for a reason, guys. You're going to be somewhere different than the other people on this call, but where you are and where you want to be might be hard to find for. So we do that, and we just do that through this. This is a no pressure thing. Every Monday night is for absolutely everyone. You can use essential oils with us. You can use them on another team. You can use another company. But our goal here is that you're empowered to essential oils. And if you're not working with someone else, then we want to be that person to help support you through a wellness consult. So once you get your oil, we're going to open those up to help you create a plan. You know, confident with them and with your membership. And then we plug you into these amazing things that Kelly talked about. Our essential oil camp. It's 2 weeks online, actually just a little less than that now, online, where coaches like Kelly are in there every day posting our recipes and our tips and how to use your oils well, and you get a taste of our community. And then our online community is something that Kelly created. And again, this is the context of how she operates, guys. And she's instilled that in all of us, that the value of community is that we go farther together. So when you're feeling lonely or on an island, you have that even 2 a.m. Post that you can make connects with you. And it's this beautiful thing that YouTube has to connect real time, even through long distances. So this is the beginning of a conversation. And if there's anything you have more questions about, even if you're using oils with someone else, we're available for that. We want to help you. Now, if you are using doTERRA with someone else, then we want to encourage you to go back to them, because I promise you, doTERRA people are just awesome people. So I know they're going to want to help you get what you need. And we don't need to step on any toes to do that. If know more about essential oils or about the business and how you create income, like me and Kelly Couch, then we can help you do that. One of the ways is through this event that I'm going to post right now. And Kelly's already told you about how to get oils. There are plenty of different kits that fit every budget and every need. So if you didn't see like, oh gosh, I really love that touch kit, don't sweat. It can help you find one. But we won't know unless you chat with us. So send us an email at bettertogetherlife.com. bettertogetherlife@gmail.com, and make sure that we get you exactly what you need in the context of what's going on in your life, right? It doesn't need to just be something that we share with you and say, hey, this is a blanket for everyone. We really want to customize this for you. So here is the link to Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning. We shared that we're going to talk about how to make dough with doTERRA. And here is the link for that. It's going to be a little bit lengthy, but I think you can grab it. And then Kelly Couch is here. And she is here for you guys. She's not only limited to just me. So we're going to say thank you for your time. We're going to give away this balance before we jump off. Bo has numbered me. So let me jump on to random.org. That is an unpaid person, unpaid, I guess, sponsorship. It's not sponsored. Yes. Okay. So Bo's got it. It's going to be Chloe. So if you are alone, go ahead and send us an email with your mailing address. And that way we can send you your prize. So Chloe, I hope you're on still. And just send us an email at bettertogetherlife@gmail.com. bettertogetherlife@gmail.com. So Chloe, send us that email and we'll send you your bottle of balance this week. Kelly, we want to ask you 2 fun questions. First, and then what's your favorite dessert? Since we're talking about diet and sharing all the good things, what do you love to have and what's your favorite oil?
Wait, you broke up a little bit. Tell me again.
What's your favorite oil and what's your favorite dessert?
Okay. favorite oil. You can't ask me to pick a favorite oil when I have this giant box over here, but
just one of your favorites.
The oil I'm using the most lately is copaiba. Just the benefits of copaiba for pain and mood and inflammation. I give it to my kids. I love it. I love that we have it. So if you don't know about copaiba, check it out. And then my favorite dessert, like got sick and decided it was smart to go paleo?
No, right now, the favorite dessert that you love to have, like when you're just hankering for dessert, is it?
Okay, let me think. Y'all are going to make fun of me because I don't really eat dessert. What would I eat for
Yes,
dessert?
we are.
You are going to make fun of me. What would I eat for dessert? I have no idea. I just don't eat dessert. Let me think. Okay. I did figure out how to make cinnamon toast paleo recently. And so I've been eating a lot of that. And I do
like, that's legit.
And I do, my kids make cassava flour chocolate chip cookies and I like those. So I like those. Cassava flour chocolate chip cookies.
Girl. Yes.
I know I'm the worst person to ask about dessert because we don't need it, but yeah. Chocolate chip cookies.
Here's the reason I asked is we have a bunch of people like the Bodder homestead.
Yes.
Always struggling something that's like high glycemic. So I love that you shared. A lot of people have questions of like religion. Like if you have a religion not everybody knows about, they want to know what you do.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing when you eat something that not everybody knows about. And I think that's awesome is A, you don't like crave all the sweets and everything, but B, you have all a near paleo chocolate chip cookie. And I love it too. And it doesn't have any gluten and it's easy to eat and it's easy to share. So love your shots. I think people are going to be totally curious about that. And there are also people who got on late are going to be curious about your glasses. And I agree. I think you wear them well. Thank you so much for being on tonight, Kelly. Chloe, we want to hear from you in an email, but if you guys can just take a hot second for her time tonight, for preparation of all of those amazing slides and even the things that we didn't get to. We want to know, like we said this in our group the other day, guys, we want to know what y'all want to hear more about. So Kelly said I could do a whole class on oils and babies, but what do you guys want to know about? You can join us in our It Is Well, Better Together Oils and More group on Facebook and let us know there. And just holler at us and say what you loved about this. Kelly is amazing. And we're so grateful, Kelly, to have you and your time, especially on a nighttime when I know you've got kids who are going to wake up in the morning and you've been homeschooling and momming and wifing all day long. So everybody's saying endless amazingness. Can't wait to hear more. Thank you, Kelly C. All these good things. So yes, absolutely. They want to hear about oils in the garden, Cal.
That's that's Kelly.
Yep.
That's Kelly B,
I think that's us. That's going in for sure. The June edition.
Hit up Kelly and Bo for that one. All the homesteading stuff they are running with. Kelly, it's been fun. I love the Better Together team and family.
Yes.
And it's so fun that you guys are offering this just incredible education and support. Because that's really why we do what we do. You guys don't sell oils to sell oils. We sell oils because we want to change people's lives for the better. And oils have been a huge part of that. And we want to change their health. And oils have been a part of that. And we want to change people's lives that want to get out of debt and give generously to them or whatever. And doTERRA has been a huge part of that. And so I just think what you guys are offering, she called or messaged, I can't remember once, and told me about this idea of Monday night oil classes. I was like, this is just so y'all, this is perfect. And I just think what you're offering people is just such generous information and education. And people are just, as you can see, as your followers, is that what you call you guys, the YouTube followers? I'm not a
subscribers, community.
Okay, community. So it's wonderful. So thank you for serving people and for jumping in and being such a huge part of why this community is amazing, because we have the best coaches and you guys are just doing incredible things with just what you're providing here. So I appreciate that you're continuing to just share the message. And you guys that are watching, we don't just say this. If you get to know us, you can come hang out at our homestead or come see me in my RV. We don't just say this. This is real life. And you could not pick, if you are not already working with someone, you could not pick a better team than one of the members of the Better Together team or Kelly and Bo to just hold hands through this journey with. So I encourage you, just reach out to them and jump in and join the oily waters.
I like it. I completely agree with you. Kelly, you are kind, kinder than we deserve for you. So thank you guys for being on. It's better you're here. Like Kelly and I can sit and talk till we're blue in the face, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't serve you. So spread the word about this. If this was something helpful or encouraging to you, then share this, because every Monday night I'll be here talking about everyday I'm oiling topic and a different team member. So you're going to get to know us, what we're all about, and what our team's all about. And again, it starts right back here with Kelly Couch, who shared that On Guard oil with a sick little family. And not only has it changed our life, but it's changed a lot of people who we've got with. So thank you, Kelly. Thank you for your time, and tell your family thank you for sharing you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a great night, guys. We'll see you back next